Hello, I'm Ed Parcaut. I'm here with Amy Tiemeyer, and we are helping the brave. How you doing, Amy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Can't complain because nobody listens anymore. So
I
I guess
listen.
that's getting old anyway, right? All right, so I'm just shocked you have no idea who we have coming on the show today. That I thought for sure you would have, when you wrote the post, you would know everything about it. Uh, I came across it because it came through me through. I'm just verifying we're okay on Facebook. That's why I'm looking at these. Uh, it came through an email regarding they were trying to look out for people to talk about the show American Homecoming, which is a show about going in and helping out vets with their houses and making changes to them, so that they can actually live in them. And I thought it was a unique idea because a lot of veterans have disabilities and they need help with a lot of stuff. And it's one of those good shows about that. And I think their first episode was 2 weeks ago, and I talked about it in my Rotary so that people would watch it and actually help them out. And that's why I wanted them on the show to talk about that program.
It sounds great. I'm
All right.
excited to hear from him.
Well, I'm glad you're so excited. Let's bring him into the show. Hey,
Oh,
Jackie.
I'm excited. I don't know about you guys.
Well, no, we're excited.
Yeah.
It's we're talking to veterans, telling about their transition story and other stuff, and what they're dealing with and how they changed their lives. And this is nice to have a difference of that from something else where it's a totally different program on how people are helping vets.
Sure. Yeah, it's really an honor to be a part of it.
Yeah. All right. So a little bit back. Why don't you give us a little bit background on the show, how you got involved? But first, any veterans in your family?
Yeah, my father was in the Navy. My great uncle was shot down over Nazi Germany in World War II and spent time in a prisoner of war camp. We have a small family, not a lot of offspring all up and down the line, but those are two examples for sure.
Well,
I've
I
never
was I
served myself.
just curious because I'm a Navy vet. So and your dad, tell him thank you for his service if he's still around.
He's not, but thank you for saying that.
All right. So I like I said, I was telling Amy before the show or during. I forget these days. I'm getting older, but we were talking about how I got involved and how they came through about the program. Why don't you explain how you got involved and what the program is for people who don't really understand it right now?
Sure. Well, American Homecoming is a show, maybe one day a television show. Right now, it's just at AmericanHomecoming.tv. But a gentleman by the name of Tracy Trost, who does all things vets. He's worked for the DAV. He's done fundraising for vets in need. He's just an all around good guy. He created this particular concept, although the idea has been around. He's the first one that I know of, anyway, that put it into television show format in this way. And what we do is we find a veteran who is perhaps disabled in some way. In this particular episode, the vet was in a wheelchair. He had cancer crushing his spine and he's relegated to this to a chair. So we retrofitted his whole house. We took out the steps and put in ramps. Gave him a remote to open all the doors. Also widened the doorways. Tore out the tub. Put in a roll-in shower. But also created a nice aesthetic. We had this wonderful designer came in and did paint and woodwork and just really made it not only a functional place to live, but a beautiful place. And this is all the brainchild of Tracy Trost, at least in this particular way. He asked me to be a part of it to help him, I guess, finesse the idea a little, which I did. And I was just one of many people on the project, though. Let's make that clear. I just happened to be one of the people involved as the host, but there were others, including veterans, who certainly were a bigger part of it than I am.
Well, I'm sure everybody had their part to play, right?
Sure. I mean, but like Cece Mazik, she was my co-host. She is in a wheelchair because she jumped out of an airplane and a parachute tangled with someone else. By the time she corrected, her leg slammed into the ground, and now she's in that condition. She specifically knows what it's like to go from able to disabled or abled in a different way. Dave Riley, he has prosthetic arms and legs because he was in the Coast Guard. He jumped into a river and contracted a certain bacteria that actually made him lose a couple of organs as well as his arms and legs. And he's a master craftsman now. He made a particular thing. I won't give it away for those who want to watch the episode, but with basically hooks for arms. He made this beautiful thing, and this is him in there on the far right, and these are some of the people who are part of it. On the far left is our designer Kara. So there's a whole big team. There's the army of volunteers who are part of it. There's our veteran Garrett. It's just a big, beautiful story, and I was happy to be any part of it.
It looks wonderful. I love, I think it's so such a great thing about volunteering. You see all those smiling faces, everybody coming together. So that is beautiful.
Yeah, Amy, it really feels good to give back. It's not just about making entertaining television or any kind of content. It's just capturing on TV this wonderful thing that everyone is chipping in to do for this guy who certainly deserves it.
Now, how many shows have been filmed?
Just one, just the pilot.
Just the pilot, okay. And now we're trying to get it to actually go into a full scale program. Is that what the plan is next?
I guess that would be the idea, to help as many vets as possible, to do as many shows as possible. So we get eyeballs on it. We're trying to get 1 million views, and therefore we think we'd get enough interest that somebody would either pick it up or big companies would come in and help underwrite it, so we can do this as long as vets need help.
And where was the first house done at?
Oklahoma, actually.
Oklahoma. It took a second there, a little delayed. Okay, that was the longest Oklahoma ever. He had to be on the
side. Oklahoma. where the wind goes rushing down the plains or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And so for people who, I'll put this in the comments, and I was trying to make sure I had a copy of it, and sorry, when I was sharing the screen, it grabbed the one behind it. But I want to make sure people know how to get there and watch it so we can get the views up there, because that's the most important thing right now, is to get the views so that people, so it can get to the 1 million viewing, correct?
Yeah, that would be great, or at least somewhere close. That way we can go back on the road and find another vet who needs their house to be livable again. It's just so amazing that these people who don't complain, they don't say anything, they just get in their chair and they go about their daily lives. I mean, that proves the toughness of vets and some people. But just imagine if you had to live in a wheelchair for a day to navigate around your house, how much more difficult that would make life. So all we want to do is give them a little shot at freedom. Hey, they got hurt fighting for ours. Why not give them a little bit of theirs back, right?
Yep. I have a friend who served for 24 years, and he had back surgery after retiring, and they paralyzed him on the operating room. Oh. And that, to me, and he's talked about how big of a change that is, but to think you've gone all the way through your military service, able-bodied, and then your whole life changes because of a surgery, which, back surgery is very complicated. So, but he's very active. He plays all sorts of wheelchair games and different things like that. So just like you said, really neat guy, a joy to be around. And so I would, Ed and I both know that if there's a way that we can support other than getting the word out, to watch the TV show, if you need resources of veterans in different areas, I can help as much as I can. So I would love to help as much.
Oh, that would be great, Amy. Well, maybe we'll talk when we're done, or you can reach out to Tracy Trost. He has all that information. And I'm sure the person who put us in touch has all of Tracy's contact info. That'd be wonderful. We'll accept help from any corner of the earth, anyone we could get it from. Not for us, but for those in need.
Right. And there is a huge need out there. I mean,
absolutely.
We know from doing the show for the past couple of years that there's a lot of different nonprofits that will help, but they overlap a little bit, and then that they won't help. And that's the problem. They fight for the same dollar. And we want whatever we can to do to help you get this word out so you can help some other vets out there. And if there's any other programs that could help fund it, we would like to find that for you too. So
that'd be great. I'm sure the vets would really appreciate it. Everyone wants to talk about how they're pro-military and pro-vet. Well, put your money where your mouth is. You know, when they really need us, when they come home, there's not much we could do for them in the field. That's taken care of by the generals and the leaders and military strategists and all that. But when they come home, let's embrace them. Let's thank them. Let's make their lives livable again, to whatever extent that is, whether they're abled or disabled, whatever you want to call that. Let's make it known that we appreciate everything they did, and do that in any way we can.
Absolutely.
Totally agree. So going forward, so let's see how people can help right now. So right now, well, let's back up. So after the episode was done and you're going through it, what was the biggest shock for you after the episode was done? Looking back at your time there.
Yeah, there were a few. I had never dealt with someone on this level. To see what it was like before this home, and to picture in my mind, because we were there before we started, of course, before any of the work began, and I just pictured in my mind, how can he get his wheelchair through this front door? He has to get out. Someone has to hold him. They have to fold the chair, put it inside the house. And I'm sure that relegates him to the house for long periods of time, because it's such a pain in the neck to go back and forth, in and out. How does he get up those stairs? He must just live on the bottom floor. How does he get into the bathroom? How does he roll over between the rooms, the little bumps that are there that, they're there for the aesthetic, but clearly they're not functional. How does he roll on this carpeting? It's got to be difficult. So they ripped out the carpeting. They knew exactly what they were doing. Tracy and his volunteers were just such experts at it. And Jimmy, the contractor, and Kara, the designer, and Cece and Dave, who I already mentioned, they just knew exactly what to do. And so they just created this home. And the biggest shock for me was he was fine. He was happy. He wasn't complaining. He was.
Oh my.
Internet. Gotta love that internet, because even I have a problem there for a minute.
Right.
Because I have 800 by 800 now gigabytes. That's freaking amazing, and I still occasionally have an issue. So
Well,
when
hopefully he
comes back,
will
we'll finish
be able
it
to
up.
pop back in just a moment. He was so passionate.
There he is. All right.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
Passionate. You're so passionate.
I lost you. I don't know what happened. I have a good connection and everything. But anyway, the biggest surprise, as I was saying, sorry about that little blip, was he was just in such great spirits. He was grateful to be alive. Here he was. He lost his mobility. He had a girlfriend. He had to deal with that now, and what that might be like, living with a partner who has to take care of you. And he was such in great spirits. But when he came home and saw his house, you could see the bright light of hope go on inside him, to think maybe he could get some of his life back.
Wow.
Yeah. I think what you guys helped with is to get him to what is coined right now as post-traumatic growth. Not worrying about trying to go back in time, but moving forward even better. And so that's kind of what we hope for him. And we see your show being able to model that vision. And I think that is really important for veterans nowadays, to see what that looks like. That your life isn't ended with, traumatic experiences, that you can have a full and great life regardless of almost anything.
Yeah, and that we don't forget about them. I mean, DAV does so much, but I mean, you're home. You're there so much of your life, especially if you're in a wheelchair or you have any other kind of disability. I would imagine that it's difficult to go anywhere, to leave, and sometimes you want to stay in and collect your thoughts or work on whatever you're doing. Just to be able to get up and use the restroom, it's so difficult. We don't want to. Their spirit has been crushed already in some ways, some of them anyway. We want to say there is hope, just like you just said, Amy. We want to say, don't give up hope. We haven't given up on you. We haven't forgot about you. And we'll get to you. If we can get this show done, we'll get to as many as possible, I promise.
Now, Amy, you might know this. Isn't there a program through the VA to get money to redo your house?
So there is some grants available. I don't know if there is a grant that is all encompassing for everything. I do know, like, there used to be at least a grant to like redo your bathroom, things that are specific. But what we've learned in this area is that usually they are not competitively priced. So you have to find a company that will only charge what the VA gives you. So if the VA gave you $40,000 to completely redo a bathroom that is completely ADA equipped might cost $60,000 today, but
Sure.
the VA is only going to give you $40,000. They're only going to do it once in a lifetime, and so that puts veterans kind of at risk financially if they're not fully aware and working with the right. And I don't even want to say the right companies, because prices are what prices are. People have to pay labor, different things like that. But if you're not careful, you can put yourself in jeopardy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I was talking that the show could get that money
Yes,
to help
absolutely.
pay for some of their repairs. You get some of the money from the VA to help out.
This is true.
To do the show and help the vet to get some of that money back. You know, another way to get money is through the VA, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Ed. You know, the way that Tracy put this together, he just found this wonderful coalition. You know, he had to beat the bushes, do a lot of legwork, and put this team together. And we took care of everything. I mean, we sent our vet Garrett away for a week, and then we loaded the car with cameras to catch the anticipation, because you've signed this thing over. You're saying, all right, you can do whatever you want to my house. But how do we know he's going to like it? How do we know that, all right, maybe he's okay with 1 or 2, but not 3, 4, 5, and 6? So there's anticipation in us too. There's a certain trepidation that we're hoping, well, listen, we want him to love it, but maybe he liked it a certain way because he was used to it. So all of that happens live time. None of it was faked or produced. Well, we just do it, and everything you see is real, and it happened in the moment. And it was such a beautiful experience. And there's a little surprise at the end, which I will not give away, but break out the tissues. Get ready. Have them next to you. That's all I have to say about it.
Well, I'm just thinking a way to help the show going forward, to help get some money back, to help them, you know, be able to do it more and more, is another person to help pay be the VA to help that going forward. So that, you know, because you want to do more of these, let's go after the VA to get some money from them to help eat a little bit of the, you know, it's only a little bit of the whole thing you guys do, but at least it would be something. So, all right. So everybody go out there, watch the show again on American Homecoming TV. Tell other people about it, share it, let other people know, so that they can get over 1 million views. They can get some more people involved so that they can do more of this. And any way I can get involved or put more word out, let me know. We'll do that through the show. So.
Yeah, that'd be great. And here's the thing. If you go to AmericanHomecoming.tv, you can watch the show, which we would certainly appreciate. I think you'll find it endearing and hopeful. But at the same time, you can sign up to be a delegate, and it doesn't cost you anything. All you're saying is there's a certain level of commitment there that you'll tell others, that you'll share it with others. That's all we ask, because as you know, so many things happen by word of mouth. You could have the best idea in the world. Your heart can be open to helping people in need, but if nobody knows about it, it doesn't go anywhere. That's just how it works in this social media heavy day, right? We have to do everything we can to get things out there. So like this, for instance, you know, I appreciate you both, Ed and Amy, having me on your show and sharing that with people, because the more people we get to watch it, we get this snowball rolling downhill. By the end of it, maybe we'll have a show. Maybe we'll have a series and a continuous one. And at the end of it, maybe you can have some of the vets on, and they can talk about how their lives have changed, first of all, with what they went through. But secondly, that they came home and we didn't forget about them, and that we gave them somewhat a semblance of their lives back by making their home livable once again. Or as we say in the show, and just this came organically, we made the house a home once again, and that's important.
I totally agree. Amy, did you have any other questions or anything for him?
So do you have any plans in the works? Or are you guys just writing to see what type of viewership you can get? And that's the next goal. Do you have any plans in the work though for the future?
Well, sure. We'd like to get it as many eyeballs as possible on the show. Also, different outlets, whether it's networks or streamers or cable, because we'd like to get the biggest audience. Because the more people see it, the more they'll get involved. How can you not feel a little something when you watch this, especially the end, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So the plan is to build up some some interest from the ground up, some grassroots interest, and have people talk about it. And then we can't shoot more episodes. It's a very production heavy show to do. You have to get so many people together. It's very expensive from a production point of view, but all the money goes into the house, into the home, into all of that. It's just the right thing to do. So I think that Tracy has a good Tracy Trost, again, for those who are just joining, the gentleman who created this idea, directed and wrote it and produced it. I think he has a pretty good idea on what to do to get more episodes done. So we don't have anything in the works. I think we have to take it in order. That's to get interest, to have other people sign on to it, whether they're sponsors or corporations or, like you say, the different vets organizations that like to come and help. Then we'll go look for our vets. We'll certainly take ideas from whoever has them, and then we'll go and we'll give it to the most deserving first and foremost, I would think, and we'll bring it to you, because not only is it a good thing to do, it's entertaining as well. Because I know these home makeover shows, and they're done well for the most part, are very popular. But imagine not to do it just to make over a home. How about for someone whose life's been turned upside down? They could walk and now they can't, or whatever their disability might be. And we make that home once again something that they can feel comfortable in. They can feel good in, because they feel badly enough already, I'm sure. And they gave so much. All we're doing is giving back. This is not a prize or a present or a free gift or anything like that. We're just giving them back a little bit of what they had before. We have to do that. We're compelled to do it, in my mind.
Very good.
Yeah, I totally agree, because there's a lot of veterans out there who need this help for their homes. They don't, they're dealing with what they're dealing with and their home the way it is, and it needs to be changed. So I'm glad that you're part of it. I'm glad it got started, and I'm here to help any way I can. I am a delegate, by the way. So.
Oh, thank you, Ed. Okay. How about you, Amy?
Not yet, but I will be by the end of the day.
A little guilt there.
Oh, that's okay, as long as you do it.
That's right. It's really important to give back, and this is an easy way to give back. Just go watch. Everybody watches TikToks and all those other things. Just go ahead and watch the show, get support for it, so we can get more of it done. And again, like I said, if there's anything else I can do, Jackie, let me know. Amy will do the same thing, and us here at Helping the Brave will get the word out.
Yeah, there's one more too, by the way. For those who want to reach out on a personal level, for whatever reason, my Twitter and Instagram is Southie Jack. On Twitter and Instagram, it's SOUTHIEJACK. If you have any questions, you want to talk about the show, you want to know about future episodes, I'm pretty active on social media. I'll get back to you if I can, and we'll have a personal connection about the show if you want to know anything about it. I'm happy to get back to you. I can't see it right now. I just see the
SOUTHIE Jack.
There it is, down at the bottom. Twitter and Instagram. That is correct.
All right.
So I will, if we would, before we end, I have a funny story about you. So yesterday I was texting Ed to make sure I had the right person for doing the announcement. But what I did was I texted a veteran, a Navy vet who lives in Idaho, who I'm doing a backpack giveaway with, him your information. I'm like, do you know him, to make sure? And he's like, I don't. And it took me like 5 texts back from him to realize that I was texting the wrong person. So Lawrence Nye in Idaho is now familiar with you. And so he might be watching, and get him. He might also go on and watch the show. So,
well, one at a time.
Doing too many things at once.
One at a time. We're happy to do it any way we can.
All right. Well, Jackie, thank you so much for being on the show today. We really appreciate it. Thank you for what you're doing for vets, being involved, and for what the show is doing. We really appreciate it. Anything else you
Thank
want
you
to
for
add
having
before we
me.
go?
I just would ask that if you have time, just check it out. Just take a look at it. I know there are a lot of things, a lot of choices in entertainment, whether it's online or on television. This is a good cause, I promise you. And if you watch the whole thing, you will be affected. That's all we ask. If you want to become a delegate, up to you. If you want to reach out in some other way, but just check it out, because I think we have to give back to those who gave so much for us. That's not just a cliche. We know they really did. Just picture yourself before you decide to not watch this show. Picture yourself in a wheelchair just for 1 week in your house, or even try it for a day. See what that's like. And then you'll understand our cause and how much we need to get this conversation going so we can give back to those who really need it the most. It's as simple as that. It's not that complex. They fought for our freedom. We want to give back just a little bit of theirs.
So true. Thank you so much for saying that. Really appreciate it. Everybody check out AmericanHomecoming.tv. Go there, check out the video, become a delegate, help them out, help support them so they can help more veterans. Jackie, thank you so much for being here today. Amy, thank you so much for being here today. And thank you for all you who are watching. And if you like what we do here, like we always say, just subscribe and go to the YouTube channel, Helping the Brave, and subscribe also. So thank you, all three of you, including myself, for being here today.
Thank you for having me, both of you. Appreciate it.
All right.